ballots as voters there cast ballots for mayor and sheriff. Early voting saw more than twice as many ballots cast as there were on Election Day 8 years ago, the last time there was an open race for the mayor's office. LRN.
I'm Richard Funtner, president of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. While I'm a fourth-generation rice and soybean grower, you don't have to be a farmer to be a Louisiana Farm Bureau member. Membership has its benefits, from discounts on car seats, hotel rooms, and rental cars, to access to insurance you can count on to be there when you need. Plus, a whole lot more. We're 145,000 members strong, and we want you to join the Louisiana Farm Bureau family.
Visit lafarmbureau.org. The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Unleash the wild side of LSU sports. Tiger Rag Magazine is not your average sports read. It's the jungle of jaw-dropping plays, the roar of the crowd, and the stripes of true sportsmanship. Every page of Tiger Rag pounces with in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and stories that leap off the page faster than a tiger chasing a Georgia bulldog. Don't settle for the sidelines. Tiger Rag Magazine puts you front and center of the action. Subscribe now and transform your LSU sports experience. Tiger Rag Magazine, the Bible of LSU sports.
Hey, Mimi, we love Wednesdays, but we're moving to a new time.
Listen to He Said, She Said, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
As usual, we'll be discussing and debating the hot topics.
And taking your phone calls.
You can find out who's right. Of course, that's me.
No, wait, Jeff, I'm never wrong. Remember, happy wife, happy life.
So we'll have a lot to talk about on He Said, She Said.
Listen to the Crew of Crew Air, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Right here on WGSO.
NHL star Matt Martin for American Humane.
I've had my fair share of bruises and injuries, but for many who put their lives on the line every day, it's not always the injuries you can see that hurt the most. Every single day, 184 veterans are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. When medications and therapy don't help, professionally trained service dogs can. American Humane has created a free guide to help veterans obtain these life-saving animals. For help, please go to AmericanHumane.org.
Hey, this is BJ Russ. Make sure you join me every Saturday night for the Something to Say radio show right here on WGSO 990 AM. We'll be on from 7 to 8 p.m. We'll talk sports, music, movies, and pretty much anything in between. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM. That's the place to be. And don't forget that you can listen to us on WGSO.com and on the Mixlr app.
Hello, this is David Jeremiah. Join me each weekday morning at 4:30 or 5:30 a.m. for Turning Point on the community voice of the Crescent City WGSO.
Don't miss Chew on This with John Clement and Patty B, 1 p.m. Saturdays on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. New time, same great flavor.
Hey, folks, the Mike Church Show is moving back to mornings. Faster than you can say, LSU is CWS and Jello Shot World Champions. 6 to 7 a.m. on WGSO and CrusadeChannel.com.
And we're back. It is Election Night coverage right here on WGSO. I'm Jeff Carrere, joined by
Jack Clegg.
And Jack, we got some results here to share, and this is just some early results. Just 1,337 votes in. Paulina Moreno got 63.95%. Boyce Duplessis at 18.62%, Oliver Thomas at 7.7%, and then Frank Janusa 7.303%. So those are the top four.
Sure.
And of course, if she maintains this status the rest of the way, she wins in the first primary. Now there are 262,874 voters in Orleans.
Sure.
If you think the turnout will maybe be hopefully 50%, the last time when Cantrell,
it's a little high, don't you think?
The last time when Cantrell ran, it was 28%. Yeah. So let's say it'll be in the 40s.
That's much better.
You know, in the 40s, we're still we're looking at over 100,000 people that'll vote. So just a small
1%.
Sampling of the vote
1%.
So far.
Yes.
And in the sheriff's race, Michelle Woodfork leading 46.84%, followed by Edwin Shorty at 23.5%. If that holds out, there will be a runoff there.
Sure.
And in the council district and the Division 1 and Division 2 races, it seems like Matt Willard is in good shape, 60% in Division 1, and JP Morrell in Division 2 at 73%. And, all the leaders just had a lot of endorsements, a lot of money, Jack.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yep. That's it. Follow the money. We said that at the outset. That was the second sentence out of my mouth. Got to follow the money with elections.
Right.
There are, and you're correct, there are exceptions. But if you're looking for the general understanding, it's all about the money. That's it.
Right.
And the other is turnout. And that can change. And again, do you know that 1% you talked about a moment ago? You have 1,300 votes. Was that it? They counted?
Right.
Okay.
Now
Where
it's up
was that
to
from?
1,700.
Okay. Where's that from? Do we
Doesn't
know?
say. Doesn't
Okay.
say. Doesn't say. Yeah.
That's an
And-
important issue also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And this is going to be, and we'll keep you updated as the numbers come in, and they're fluctuating as we talk, and changing. And the question at the beginning of the night:
Sure.
will there be a runoff in the mayor's race? Will there be a runoff in the sheriff's race? I think one we'll be looking at all evening. And then some of these other races, we covered the Slidell mayor's race on my program, and right now the chief, Randy Fandel, who is challenging the incumbent mayor, is leading with 65% of the vote. And again, early
Pretty
results.
Substantial. That is substantial.
Mhm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Very. And there's some big issues in Slidell that we have been looking at. So next to New Orleans, it's the big one
Sure.
out there.
Sure.
Now, I was talking to some friends in Jefferson Parish. They didn't even know there was an election, totally out of it, because, the focus has been obviously all on Orleans Parish, and, not
Isn't
much
that-
for the
isn't
Jefferson voters to do.
Isn't that amazing? Okay. And I'm not saying people shouldn't care about Orleans Parish, but earlier on you were talking about population. Okay. We only have a little over 300,000 people in Orleans Parish, as compared with St. Tammany Parish, Jefferson Parish, which at least triple what we have. But it's always Orleans Parish. I mean, that's,
Right.
I mean, it's, if, and I don't want to start a movement here, but
Right.
why in the world are Orleans and Jefferson Parish split? I don't understand
Mhm.
why. I don't understand why. You'd
like to see a unified.
Of
You'd like to see a
course.
unified parish.
I remember when
Mhm.
I was doing my maritime work, and
Yeah.
ships would come up the river, and they have to pay a different fee going into different
Right.
parishes. And my overseas employers, people I represented, my clients, were like, "What are they doing
Mhm.
in the different parish? It's all the same, but somebody wants a little bit of money here, a little." And to me, the smart move would certainly be at least make most of our civilian duties and obligations inter-parish. I don't understand that.
Mhm.
It just, I
Yeah.
mean, historically, it's been one way. But if you wanted
Right.
to actually move forward and do good things,
Mhm.
you'd say no.
But here's the deal. The people in Jefferson do not want to merge with the Orleans Parish. In fact, the people in Lakeview would love to start their own
they would
city.
or,
The people in
be
Algiers,
annexed by Jefferson, right? I know.
right? The people in Algiers tried to leave New Orleans as well. So
Sure.
they understand, and our friend Rusty, who just moved back to New Orleans, understands when you move back to New Orleans, you deal with the infrastructure problems, the problems with crime, the delay in getting services. I mean, that's just part of it, and it's frustrating for people. So frustrating.
It is. The one thing, and I hate to belabor the point, but the one thing that I could possibly accept is bringing in new business to the area, and that would have Orleans Parish and Jefferson sharing the obligations to bring in new business. I mean, if you're an
Right.
adult and you have kids, there's only one thing you care about. It's what your kid's future is. So
Mhm.
what do you want to do? have them grow up in a town where the best job they can get is making a bed at a hotel? I mean, really,
Right.
that's it. And you don't want your, I
Mhm.
mean, no matter how we say they
Mhm.
need to leave the nest, we don't want them to move 6 states away. Okay?
Right.
And you know,
Well,
they should
as
live in the
one who
house,
has a
but they,
child
Yeah.
a state away, I can definitely vouch for that.
Yeah.
I can definitely vouch for that. All right, let's update you on some numbers, some new numbers coming in here.
Sure.
So in the sheriff's race, Michelle Woodfork 46.63%. Edwin Shorty now is in second place at 23.53%. If that holds on, that'll be a runoff. Mayor's race, Helena Moreno at 61.73%, followed by Royce Duplessis at 18. And this is after just 1,790 votes. They've already
2%.
called 2 winners. 2 winners have been called. The council at large Division 1 winner is Matthew Willard, who
Okay.
I've had on my program, a very, very bright, capable guy. And in Division 2, J.P. Morrell has won re-election. Someone who I think stood out as being maybe the leading critic of LaToya Cantrell on the council, Jack.
Yeah,
So
his instincts
strong
are good.
victory for him.
His
Yeah.
instincts are good. Yep.
Yeah. All right, you want to take some more calls?
Let's do it.
All right, 504-556-9696. Our friend Nolan checking in from Jefferson. What's happening, Nolan? How are you? Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Hey, Jeff and Craig, I listen to your show quite often on a Friday. You know, Rusty hit the nail on the head. The same old cycle of crime. Now, with Trump, when he went into Washington, D.C., they don't give any kind of statistics of the criminals that said, "Hey, I can't be committing this crime." I mean, you got a lot of these leaders, these criminals, these gang leaders, and what they doing is they are indoctrinating these young people to looking for gold and stars and all that. But a lot of these kids, they don't know the seriousness of being punished, and or maybe just being arrested. And I think when Trump did that up in Washington, D.C., a lot of these kids came out. I mean, you know, a lot of the leaders, the gang leaders, lost some of their members. And I would love to see Trump come down here, and maybe it'd be a wake-up calling for kids who don't want to live a life of crime, but they think that they're going to get the golden reward if they do.
Right. I think Trump is going to send them down here. I think it's going to happen, Mr. Nolan. I think the governor wants it. Even the police chief wants it. So I don't think that the mayor-elect will be able to stop it. So I think it's going to be happening, and I think it's a good thing. I really do.
You know, you have a big network of organization of crime, and when these thugs and some of these kids who are lost, when they see that there's consequences for what they're going to do, they may change their mind. And I tell you what, I mean, I'm sure they got families who are against what they do. They know what the families know what they do, or maybe they don't. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of Christian people out there, good people who don't want to see their sons wind up in some kind of a gang related. So how you stop it is you come in and you show them some consequences. And that's all I have to say.
Well said.
Okay.
Well said.
I'm
Thank you,
going
my
to
friend.
comment on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with telling people the consequences. However, the consequences have to be realistic. They have to be realistic. And not realistic to me or you, but realistic to the 15, 16, and 17-year-old. Okay. So if you do something bad in New Orleans, the first question is why? You know it's bad. Why are you doing it? Why are you selling pot on the street? Why are you doing that? Because you really don't think that getting the education that you're in school for is going to do you any good. That's it. Bottom line. It looks like a waste of time. Why? Why? Well, because you look down the street at all the people you've known during your life, and their lives haven't gotten any better. And it's not crime that's done it. It's a lack of opportunity that has done it. So Nolan is right. They need to know consequences, but I think they already see them. They're kind of at the last rope. So now it takes courageous, intelligent leaders to say, okay, we've got to open this up. We've got to bring
So
people
how
here.
many courageous, intelligent leaders has New Orleans had in the past generation? I'm just asking.
Well,
I'm just
okay.
asking.
Well, here's what they do, in my perspective. They enamor themselves with the National Democratic Party. Why? Because they rely on their money. We rely on federal money coming in and doing things. And to do that, you have to have friends in the Democratic Party that are going to do that. Now, look at it. We're in a change. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know if something happens to Trump and he can't pull it off. But right now, they can't help. They don't control the purse strings anymore. So they can't help. But all the local leaders here think they can. I mean, that's all they've got. They don't have any other options. Did any of them, any of the 10 people, even the one who's a Republican, did they reach out to President Trump to say a word about it? I mean, I'm not saying he's the king of everything and it matters, but that's just symbolic. So right now we're looking at, I particularly, I think the consequences, Nolan is right. They need to know, but there has to be an option for them, and they don't have it.
Updated results here. Let's share. We've got now 4,200 votes in New Orleans. Helena Moreno is at 54.28%, followed by Royce Duplessis, 19.79%, and Oliver Thomas is at 18.6%. Frank Janusa now at 4.85%. Sheriff's race pretty much the same. Michelle Woodfork at 47%, followed by Edwin Shorty at 23%. If this holds out, the incumbent sheriff, who many people have said is maybe the most incompetent sheriff in the nation, will not make the runoff, which I think would be very good.
So do you think that the people of Atlanta helped us by sending Groves back right before the election was over?
Well, I mean, I think I think it was just good for a lot of people like the prosecutors who fled town because they were worried.
Yeah,
it was good for a lot of people to
and it reminded
get
them
out.
of them of one of the biggest failures in law enforcement that you could ever have. Not one person breaking out of a jail. What was it, 13?
10.
Oh, 10? Well, okay.
And
10
it was
breaking out. I mean, imagine that. I mean, that's,
I know.
we don't even have movies with 10 people breaking out of jail. It's just impossible.
And then it took them 5 months to track him down. Hey, let's squeeze in another call. Let's go on the North Shore and go to Jay, who's joining us in Covington. What's happening, Jay? How are you? Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, Jack.
Hey, Jay.
Good evening.
I must admit, I don't remember the last time that I was so bored. I mean, there was no election over here in Covington of any kind. I wasn't eligible to vote for Slidell Mayor race.
Right.
Now, I hate when people say I can't vote. That's not true. I don't like that word can't. You know, you could do it, do a little fraud and whatnot and get in there. But I like to say I'm ineligible to vote in that election, although I was pulling for Fandor. I think he's going to be a good mayor. And it looks like he's
ahead. He's at 67% right now, way ahead, Jay.
But I tell you why I'm bored.
Okay.
With the mayor's race in New Orleans, you got I know the candidates are different, but there really isn't a dime's worth of difference between all the candidates. They want Grandma Dynamite to continue as superintendent of police. I mean, good grief. I mean, that's George Soros's puppets. You got in the sheriff's race. Good luck. What is the incumbent going to promise. Okay, well, I let 10 of them out. And we finally got the last one in, just in time, almost in time. But I don't think it's going to be enough to pull her through. What is she going to say? Oh, I'm going to let 20 out next year if I get reelected. George Soros' puppet. Who is George Soros and Alex Soros and that gang going to put in? I mean, is Woodfork like it, or is it Shorty?
Jay, this is
well,
Jack.
the thing about Woodfork, I mean, she's at least been a police chief. I mean, her dad was a police chief. I mean, I think she's got roots here in New Orleans. She's reputable. She's got good credentials. So it looks like she's going to possibly win in the first primary. The latest results show her now at 59%. She has surged. So if she keeps that margin, she'll win without even a runoff. And, that's a massive improvement over Susan Hudson, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I must admit that, I was familiar with her uncle was a police chief, Warren Woodfork. Yeah. And that would be she would be a good person, I think, to get in there. I just hope she's not a puppet of who, and George Soros and that gang. We're going to have the same problem. But I don't think she is. Anyway.
I hope not. I hope not.
Well, I'll tell you what I did before I got on the phone with you guys.
Yeah.
I was watching Channel 6. I was watching one of my TVs. I have it on Channel 6. I'm not home, but I'm in another place. And the other one, I had it on a couple of the games. Oh, by the way, the officiating is still putrid in college football.
Is that the LSU game you're looking at?
No, I'm looking at Georgia Auburn.
Okay.
And like you talk about the officials. I mean, just a little quick story. You talk about the officials. They got headquarters in Birmingham, Alabama, the Southeast Conference. Okay, which is who is that going to favor? Take a wild guess. Not Auburn, Alabama. So Auburn's getting the bird on a couple of bad calls. Anyway, so I got off of that. And now I was paying attention on Channel 6 to see the assignment for the reporters at the headquarters. And boy, Shane O'Connor got the bird. And they put her in district, one of the district council's race instead of the mayor's race. They put other people that are not qualified. Shea O'Connor's the best one they got. What's going on here? I turned that off. Yeah, I called you guys.
All right. Well, I'm glad you
Thanks,
did.
Jay.
I'm glad
Thanks,
you did.
Jay.
It's good to hear from you.
right.
So, yes, we've got some updated numbers here. So 45,000 votes are in. So we're now starting to get some votes.
Almost half what we estimated, right?
Almost.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I think it's going to be over 100,000. But anyway, 55% for Moreno. So she's holding on to winning in the first. Royce Duplessis now got a solid second place at 23.39. And then in the sheriff's race now, Michelle Woodfork is at 58%. So she's winning in the first without a runoff. Matt Willard and J.P. Morrell elected to the council. And it looks like there's not going to be too many runoffs, maybe, Mr. Jack.
Well, that makes it
as someone who
very
loves
nice.
politics. Yeah. Or makes it boring, depending on how you look at it.
Well, I'm not amazed by any of the candidates. Nobody has said what I wanted to hear, and that is the future of New Orleans. Nobody's saying it.
Yeah.
Not at all. The same thing. Infrastructure, crime. I mean, those are, what do you call it when you feed a baby, an infant? Pablum? Is that what that is? The pablum.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is for us. And I'll make them happy. I won't take any positions that mean anything. We need jobs. We need to tell young people that if you go to school, you can go to school in Georgia, you can go to school in Minnesota, you can go to school, but come back because there'll be a good job for you. We can't say that now, can we? That is a significant thing. And how any of these mayoral candidates got along and never addressed that issue? Never.
Right.
I mean, am I that
20,
wrong?
yeah.
No,
you make a
what
good
else
point.
do we live for? I mean, really, that's about it.
20 of the 349 precincts are now reporting here. And just to sort of look at some of the other races, Errol Williams is going to be reelected assessor. He's got 68% of the vote. In District A, it looks like there'll be a runoff between Holly Friedman and Amy McCarron. They are like neck and neck at pretty much the same number of votes. Freddie King has won re-election for District C.
Oh, good for him.
Eugene Green has won re-election in District D. And in District D, looks like if the results stay where they are, there'll be runoff between Cindy Wynn and Jason Hughes. Cindy Wynn's at 46%, Jason Hughes at 40%.
Oh, boy.
All the other candidates barely registering. And, what's interesting is, that's where Oliver Thomas was, District D. He could have run for another term there and probably been elected. He beat Cindy Wynn in the last election, but he decided to, instead of run for councilor at large, run for mayor. And if results stay the way they are, he's in third right now. So anyway, we've got a long way to go. Just 20 out of 349 precincts.
How 20 out of 349, did you say?
20 out of 349, yes.
Wow. Well,
now, some precincts are bigger than others, obviously.
Sure.
Early voting is included in this, and that's a big chunk of the vote because a lot of people now vote early.
You're forgetting the keynote thing for every citizen. What I learned in Chicago as a member of Mayor Daley's Youth Foundation, it's not voting early. It's early and often. See, you have to remember. That's how it's done. Every time I hear somebody say, "Well, we're voting early. We're voting early," I want to know what the real reason is you're voting early. Like our election is on.
I'm never a fan of early voting because things change in the last few weeks of an election.
Sure.
You could be going to the polls and voting for candidate A, and then you find out 10 days before the election, candidate A is involved in a major scandal, and you just voted for the wrong person.
Exactly.
So,
and I've talked to people today.
Like
I talked to people today that talked to one of the candidates for criminal district court clerk of court about his conviction for murder and plea bargain for homicide or manslaughter. We got to take a break. I'll come back and talk about that after the break.
Okay. Yes. All right, folks, come join us. We'll also come back to more of your phone calls at 504-556-9696. This is WGSO's Election Night coverage. Got another hour, and we're going to be talking about all these elections. Got some projections now. Holly Friedman and Amy McCarron going into a runoff for District A. So that's the first solidified runoff that we do have. So there'll be at least one runoff next month when people go back to the polls. But right now, we'll get news update and more. So keep it right here on WGSO. Jack Clegg and I will be right back after this.
This is WGSO 990 AM New Orleans, proudly serving as the community voice of the Crescent City.
WGSO 990 AM is the only locally owned and operated talk station in New Orleans. We feature 20 local hosts discussing a variety of topics in an era when the daily
news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Mary Rose. Two separate high school homecoming celebrations in Mississippi ended in gunfire this weekend. Bob Agnew reports.
Officials report two separate shootings on opposite sides of the state Friday night that left at least 8 people dead and many more injured. 6 were killed in downtown Leland after a high school football homecoming game in the Mississippi Delta region on the state's western edge. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves said on the east side of the state, a pregnant woman was among the dead. About 20 people were hurt in the Delta region shooting. In Leland, 4 people were killed and 2 died later at a hospital. Bob Agnew reporting.
President Trump told reporters Friday he has not canceled a meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping planned for late October in South Korea.
No, I haven't canceled, but I don't know that we're going to have it. But I'm going to be there regardless, so I would assume we'd have it. But, they hit the world with something that really is not anything that people are going to.
The Federal Reserve's interest rate setting committee supported further reductions to its key interest rate this year.
Minutes from last month's meeting show a majority of Fed officials feel there is a greater chance unemployment would rise, and the risk of rising inflation has either diminished or not increased. Only one official formally dissented from the quarter-point rate cut in September, Stephen Myron, who was appointed by President Trump. He wanted a bigger cut, but the minutes underscore the deep division on the committee between those who feel the Fed's short-term rate is too high and weighing on the economy, and those who point to persistent inflation as a reason to remain cautious. Ed Donahue, Washington.
President Trump posted today that he will be using his authority to direct Secretary of War Pete Hegseth to use all available funds to pay the troops on October 15th. More on these stories at townhall.com.
You know, life moves fast. Staying sharp, focused, and clear-headed isn't always easy. That's why the same company that brings us Relief Factor has developed something brand new, Think Factor. Think Factor is made to help you think clearer and perform better daily. It's a powerful blend of nutrients that unlock mental clarity and precision, nurture your memory, and boost your attention. With Think Factor, brain power and performance finally meet for lasting daily results. Supercharge your memory and mental sharpness. Your brain is your most valuable asset, powering your creativity, focus, and daily performance. If you're feeling mentally foggy or not recalling things as quickly as you used to, Think Factor could be just what you need to reclaim your cognitive edge. I am so thrilled with the results I personally have received from Think Factor. I'm thinking clearer and better than ever. If you've ever thought, I wish I could more clear, more focused, try Think Factor today. Call 800-4RELIEF. 800, the number 4RELIEF, or visit relieffactor.com to learn more and order Factor. Think Factor. Think clearer, perform better daily.
Journalists at the Pentagon have stricter new guidelines to accept, or else they can't cover the beat.
At issue is whether to sign a statement acknowledging new restrictions on their jobs or risk being thrown out of the Pentagon. The deadline to sign is next week. New policy was issued 2 weeks ago. It imposes strict limits on where reporters can be without an official escort and includes a restriction that journalists not report on any news, even if unclassified, without official approval. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Ships streamed up and down the Delaware River in Philadelphia this week.
Thousands of people attended the boat parade to honor the Navy and the Marines.
Get ready, food lovers. MasterChef All-Stars Live is hitting the road, bringing your favorite chefs straight from the MasterChef kitchen to Mahalia Jackson Theater in New Orleans on October 16th at 7 p.m. This brand new, high-energy stage show delivers the ultimate MasterChef experience live, up close and personal. Witness epic head-to-head battles, thrilling challenges, and jaw-dropping culinary creations right before your eyes. Hear from your favorite all-stars on what it's like to cook in America's famous kitchen, and toughest judges, plus tips and tricks to take to your own home kitchen. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night of food, fun, and fierce competition. Secure your 2-for-1 tickets now at MahaliaJacksonTheater.com and get ready to go on a MasterChef culinary journey through the senses and experience the excitement. Welcome to the 2025 New Orleans mayoral election night coverage. And now let's go to our hosts, Jeff Cruer and Jack Clegg.
All right, hour number 2, as we analyze and dissect these results. Thanks so much for joining us right here on WGSO for our election night coverage. I'm Jeff Cruer, joined by our friend Jack Clegg. Hey, Jack.
Good evening. This is actually kind of interesting. And we were talking during the break, the producer and I were talking during the break about Jay's comments and the boogeyman that George Soros has become. We can't let that happen. You got to fight the ideas until we change, as we were discussing at the break, Citizens United, until we have that repealed by Congress, whether Congress makes a law. You can't stop people from giving money to candidates. You just can't. So, you can't sit there and say, well, he's got more money than me, therefore all is lost. You can't do that. That's silly. And we've been doing it for how long? How long have you been hearing George Soros's name affiliated with people who were thinking differently than you? How long?
I mean, George Soros has been active for many years,
over a decade, for 10 years
yeah.
at least. But so it's not the money, it's the ideas. And until we get people to fight the ideas, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All right, big news. Projections are that Helena Moreno has been elected mayor. Helena Moreno has been elected mayor of New Orleans. No runoff. She's at 56% of the vote right now, with 26% reporting. And the experts calculating, what's available and where the precincts are still remaining, have already determined that she is the winner. So what are your thoughts on that, Jack?
Well, I have two thoughts on it. Number one is I think it's a little bit early with only 25% of the vote in. But what I am and you are handicapped by is we don't know where those votes came from. We don't know what neighborhoods. We don't know if they were certain neighborhoods that were of a particular ethnic persuasion, and she got 25% of that, and she got a 56% of that vote. Then I would say, oh man, that's pretty good. But I don't know if that's the case. And the other thing is, she didn't really say anything during her campaign that made me confident that New Orleans would see a new approach to our young people and to what we could do for them here. And it sounds like the same old, except I'm not going to have an affair with my bodyguard. That's pretty much what it was. And so I don't know. And I take the trolley down Canal Street where all the plaintiffs' lawyers firms are.
Yeah.
And not a one of them is missing a Moreno thing. So I know where she got her
yard
money.
sign.
I know what she's doing.
Right. You know what's interesting? You turn on local TV in the last day, and it was wall to wall Helena Moreno commercials. Helena Moreno commercials.
Yep.
And the other candidates just weren't even registering, barely. So it just clearly was the money, the endorsements, her background. I think people want someone who is articulate, makes a good presentation, and she certainly does. Being a former broadcaster, she makes a good presentation. She is not someone who's going to embarrass us like this mayor did. So, for a lot of reasons, I think people are excited about her coming the next mayor of New Orleans.
So are you saying we superficially traded up, but substantively you're not sure?
I don't know if we made any changes as far as policy, as far as ideology. I don't think we did. I think Latoya Cantrell's a far left Democrat, and I think the mayor-elect is a left-wing Democrat. And I think there's going to be a difference in competence. I think there's going to be a difference in ability to present, communicate. I think that'll be a big upgrade. So, as much as I hated Mitch Landrieu, I mean, at least he didn't stumble in interviews. I mean, he was glib. He could present. I mean, he wouldn't embarrass us on national television. But LaToya Cantrell, you put her on national television and you like cringe. Oh my gosh.
Have you noticed since Mitch Landrieu went to work for the Biden administration, and now is he with the Urban League now? Who's he with now? What's he doing?
That's Mark Morial. He's
okay, but where is
he's president of the Urban League?
Where is
I think Mitch Landrieu has got his own nonprofit that he started, and I think he's maybe doing something with the Democratic Party. I mean, he was very involved with Biden. I mean, he had a
Right.
position with
Oh,
the
I
Biden
know.
administration, position with the Democratic Party.
Right.
So did Cedric Richmond.
And
They were
yes.
two of the biggest,
Well, we heard a lot about it
aides
in
Biden had.
Louisiana because they were our Louisiana guys. But what again? This is again something to journalists. Okay, why wouldn't a journalist from New Orleans ask the question of Mitch Landrieu? When did you know that President Biden couldn't make decisions on his own? Doesn't he owe
Mitch
us- doesn't he
Landrieu was
owe it
on
to us?
record. Yeah, Mitch Landrieu was on record saying he was sharp as a tack. So I mean,
Well-
he had private meetings with him, and he's run rings around him. He's sharp. He knows the issues backwards and forwards. So I mean, of course he's lying.
So the reason we let all those undocumented people across our southern border was an accident?
I think it was actually a planned
Of course it
invasion,
was.
and
And
it certainly
they're fighting it right now. The plan
we're
was
paying
to
the
get
price
new Democratic
right now.
voters in the country, and they did.
Exactly.
And now they want to keep them in the country by hook or by crook. And
Right.
I mean, it's there. So our people, such as Mitch Landrieu, okay,
Yep.
was inside when that was happening, and nobody's asking him. Nobody has. I mean, I could
Well,
call again
he'll-
and ask him to be on my show, but it ain't gonna happen. He's
he'll
not gonna
deny
agree.
it. He'll deny it. He'll deny it and say that the border were secure. I mean, he'll give us the same sort of nonsense that Alejandro Mayorkas did, that Kamala Harris, the border czar, did.
I at least
So,
would like to
I
get him
mean-
on record. I'd love to hear him say that. But anyway.
Another projection. We've got a new mayor of the city of Slidell. So Randy Fandle, the police chief, has won in a landslide, 71% of the
Go,
vote
Randy,
over
go.
the interim mayor, Bill Borchert. So kudos to the chief, who's now going to be the mayor of Slidell. 504-556-9696. Let's take some more calls on Mr. Jack, and we go to Matthew, who joins us in Metairie. Hey, Matthew. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, Jack. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to talk to you, Jack, according to the call screener. So,
good evening.
Y'all were talking about the oil industry, and being as I'm in it, I can speak as to why we don't have as much of it. The first and the biggest one was the ending of the windfall profits tax. So we were blowing and going as long as we were tariffing foreign oil coming into the country. And it was just great. I mean, literally, the joke was the reason you couldn't find any homeless people on Camp Street, where Odeco's headquarters was because the moment they would try to panhandle, they'd find themselves in a hard hat and offshore. That wasn't entirely a joke.
No, I understand. No, and I get your point. What do you think? What was so when you mentioned the windfall profits tax? Okay, is it that the oil companies decided we are going to lessen our obligations, and we're not going to do any more work, and therefore we don't need to have offices in New Orleans? I don't see the connection.
What happened was that the amount of oil off the shore of the coast of Louisiana is still huge, and they wanted an office close to where
Sure.
that oil was being drilled.
Sure.
Exxon never had much of a presence in New Orleans. They did have some offices here, and that's primarily a state tax thing. Royal Dutch Shell, they're a Dutch company. They're used to paying high taxes, so that doesn't bother them as much for reasons. I don't know why. Then there was Chevron, which is a California company. Again, they're used to paying high taxes.
So why did all these oil companies decide we're not going to invest in the city of New Orleans or Orleans Parish? Why did they make that decision? They clearly decided at one point to invest, and they built buildings.
In the case of Shell Oil, well, they didn't own those buildings, but they just leased a lot of space in them. In the case of Shell Oil, they decided that it was better to consolidate operations. They still have a presence in Orleans Parish, but it was better to consolidate operations in Houston and just leave a small rough crew behind for the rigs. And they realigned things too. In Shell Oil used to have the offices in New Orleans maintain the rigs off of West Texas, whereas the offices in West Texas maintain the rigs off of Louisiana. Don't ask me why. It's a Shell thing.
Okay. Well,
then
yeah.
Chevron
We lost them.
decided that Orleans Parish itself was the problem. They moved to the North Shore. Then the Plaquemines Parish lawsuit had hit them, and they're like, we're not putting any more new wells in Louisiana.
Sure.
And that's the story of the oil industry. And that was the main driver of our economy during the 70s and early 80s.
Right.
As a matter of fact, my father shifted his job from inspecting ships being built at Avondale to inspecting rigs being built all up and down the
Gulf Coast,
Louisiana Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
But, bringing that back is going to take a national policy dedicated to switching the United States away from its dependence on foreign oil.
What about, and let's bring it back to New Orleans, the elections here. What about the new mayor? Do you see anything that the new mayor can do to bring these industries back that we lost?
Well, you can create space for them because these are petroleum engineers you're talking about, not gunfighters. And the safety thing, the safety on two legs thing is a big problem.
What do you mean by that? I don't understand that. Safety on two legs. What do you mean by that?
In other words, criminals. These aren't alligators committing these crimes. These aren't nutria rats.
Right. So the oil companies are afraid of crime?
They're employees.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're, like I said, these are petroleum engineers. They're not gunfighters.
But I'll tell you, Houston's got a high crime rate.
It does now. Houston is heading the wrong way for a while.
Then you look at economic factors. I mean, you look at taxes, you look at regulations, you look at, where can they make their money. By the way, Michelle Woodfork has now been projected as the winner.
Congratulations, Michelle.
Good job. In the sheriff's race. So they basically have pretty much, looks like everyone who voted for Moreno voted for Michelle Woodfork because they both have about 56% of the vote. And so all of this is decided tonight, guys. There's only going to be 2 runoffs in District A and in District D. Everything else is decided. So I guess these winners can get an early start on changing New Orleans, on turning things around.
Well, we see which one of them will come on our shows. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, right.
As soon as the
Go ahead.
mayor cleans out the cash reserves. Then the other issue with New Orleans is it's primarily the crime. you have a group of young people in New Orleans who, because they're juveniles, they can get away with anything until they reach the age of majority, and then they still get away with anything because of the soft on crime criminal justice system. And remember, it's a system. Consists of four pieces. There's the arrest. You can have all the cops on. You can put a cop on every street corner, but if the person who is arrested is let out literally after they're booked, what was the point? Give them a nice ride in an air-conditioned cruiser in an uncomfortable position? You can, book them and charge them with a tough-on-crime DA, but if the judge hands them a sentence of house arrest and you will have wear an ankle monitor, have they really been punished? Is there really any consequences to their actions? And if they've committed a crime that needs witnesses, and the witnesses don't want to show up because stitches get stitches,
Right.
There is a system. It's a four-legged stool. It's not a three-legged stool, it's not a two-legged stool, or a one-legged stool. I'd like to see a one-legged stool. That would be interesting.
Yeah. Well,
all right, my friend.
Okay, thanks,
Well-
Matthew. That's good.
Yeah, good to hear from you, sir. Matthew with us in Metairie. Interesting perspective from
You know
from
what?
being in the oil and
I
gas
have to
business.
talk about crime for a minute. I
Yeah.
just have to talk
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Okay. In the last 25 years, we were first told that we had problems with mass incarceration. Does that mean anything to you? Did you hear that? We all did. And it seems like every politician, every prosecutor, everybody around was trying to avoid that mass incarceration. We have more people in jail in the United States than any country in the world, over and over and over again. Okay. Then what did we have? We had the George Floyd incident, which compelled people to believe that our country would be better if we defunded the police. Really, I'm not making it up. Someone might be listening to, oh, that guy's full of crap. He's making this up. That never happened. No, it did happen. And it didn't just happen in New Orleans. It happened everywhere.
Well, and that's why you look everywhere, and there's always a shortage of police officers everywhere because, I mean, people were attacked as police officers. They weren't getting enough pay. They were defunding police.
Sure.
They were demonizing police. They were calling police racists. And people like, I don't want to serve as a police officer and get all that abuse. So where are we now? Now we don't have enough police officers, and who's hurt? The people in those communities that are in many cases African Americans because they don't have enough police officers protecting the communities.
And the only time our politicians talk to those people is right before the election. Come vote for me. Come vote for me. And they get away with it time after time after time. They don't do anything for those communities. Please tell me what they do for those communities.
Right.
And here's this. I want to ask you this question. I'm not going to rant all night about crime. Has anything come across your desk yet this evening about the amendment that people voted for in Orleans Parish? The amendment that would prevent criminal histories of individuals to prejudice them from getting jobs either with the city or with contractors in the city. Because everybody I spoke to thought it was crazy. Don't do this. Don't do this. But it passed the city council unanimously. And I didn't hear a lot of commercials about it. I didn't hear anybody saying to the voters, you need to do this. No, nobody wants. It's a tar baby. Nobody wants to touch that thing. It's in writing. It's on our ballot. It was there. Has anybody said anything tonight about how well that is doing?
It passed overwhelmingly.
You're kidding me. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It passed with, well, that's Orleans Parish. What can you say? 74% of the vote.
Whoa.
38,000 in favor and 13,000
Oh, man.
opposed. And just to
So what's the message?
review,
What's the message? That
so
is sent
just to
young
review what it was called the parish-wide Home Rule Charter
Right,
Amendment.
Right.
Often referred to as the Fair Chance Amendment. It's a proposition will now be added to the New Orleans Home Rule Charter that adds conviction history as a protected class to the city's Bill of Rights, barring the city council from passing or enforcing laws that arbitrarily and unreasonably discriminate against a person based on their criminal record. The amendment prevents arbitrary and unreasonable discrimination. So this is going to take place in hiring and in contracting. In practice, this primarily applies to hiring and contracting decisions made by city government and their contractors. So it's not going to impact people in the private sector. The amendment formalizes protections that are similar to a ban the box policy, which the city government already has in place.
Well,
so there you go.
The key words there are arbitrarily and discriminately. Okay? I've read 2 pieces about what that means to this city council. Okay. If you are a school system and you want to hire somebody and you find out that that person is somebody who likes to play with little boys and girls and he shouldn't, okay, or she shouldn't, whatever. Okay. That's okay. That's not arbitrary. Okay? That's not discriminatory. Okay, so that's what the authors of the 2 things I read said. Okay, fine. That makes sense. So what about the guy who commits fraud? What about that? That's pretty broad. That goes everywhere. It's not just, pedophilia. It's fraud is everywhere, and it's about money. So, I mean, even our bodyguards are indicted on counts involving fraud because they say they worked so many hours doing this when they were working so many hours doing something else.
Right.
So our entire, this is sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. So supporters were arguing that the amendment provides, quote, fair chances and opportunities for individuals that have completed their sentences to, quote, reintegrate into society, which in turn is good for public safety and the local economy. That's what they say, the proponents of this.
I'll tell you,
And
this is a fact.
They had a lot of sway with the voters.
This is a fact. Under Louisiana law, okay, if you commit a crime, you are convicted and you do your sentence, you do the time. In 10 years, if you go straight for 10 years, and don't get another conviction, you can have everything expunged. Okay? Now, if you want to make it fairer, make it 5 years. Okay? Make it easier, 5 years. Or do something else with that. So it's already in existence. I don't understand. This is just, it's laughable.
Well, there's so many people that have criminal records, I guess.
Well,
that's
of course, and they're using this as an excuse. And when they don't get the job, they'll get somebody to sue them. Maybe somebody who had an elect Moreno sign in front of their office.
All right. Well, we have our final segment coming up, and we'll go through all these results and give our final analysis. And of course, we also invite you to join us at 504-556-9696 right here on WGSO, our election analysis show, on a historic night for New Orleans, as now in an open primary where there's no incumbent. A race has been elected in the first primary, which is unprecedented. All right, quick time out. We'll take care of some business, get a news update. We'll be right back.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. A second sediment diversion project has been stopped by the Landry administration. The Mid-Breton Sediment Diversion Project would have used Mississippi River water and sediment to build wetlands on the east bank of Plaquemines Parish. Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority Director Gordon Dove says this project and another canceled earlier this year had become too expensive. But Charles Sutcliffe with the National Wildlife Federation says These projects were essential, and the plan was to use BP oil spill settlement money to ensure the long-term health of the coast.
This is like somebody with a terminal illness calling a life-saving procedure that is completely covered by their insurance too expensive. It makes no sense.
Don't forget it's election day across Louisiana, and turnout in some areas is expected to be heavy, like in and around New Orleans, as voters there cast ballots for mayor and sheriff. Early voting saw more than twice as many ballots cast as there were on Election Day 8 years ago, the last time there was an open race for the mayor's office. LRN.
I'm Richard Funtner, president of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. While I'm a fourth-generation rice and soybean grower, you don't have to be a farmer to be a Louisiana Farm Bureau member. Membership has its benefits, from discounts on car seats, hotel rooms, and rental cars, to access to insurance you can count on to be there when you need. Plus, a whole lot more. We're 145,000 members strong, and we want you to join the Louisiana Farm Bureau family.
Visit lafarmbureau.org. The Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation, the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Unleash the wild side of LSU sports. Tiger Rag Magazine is not your average sports read. It's the jungle of jaw-dropping plays, the roar of the crowd, and the stripes of true sportsmanship. Every page of Tiger Rag pounces with in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and stories that leap off the page faster than a tiger chasing a Georgia bulldog. Don't settle for the sidelines. Tiger Rag Magazine puts you front and center of the action. Subscribe now and transform your LSU sports experience. Tiger Rag Magazine, the Bible of LSU sports.
Hey, Nene, we love Wednesdays, but we're moving to a new time.
Listen to He Said, She Said, Wednesdays at 6 p.m.
Right here on WGSO.
Hey, fellow patriots, I'm John, and I'm Mike. We're the Jambalaya Boys from the Holy Patriotic Jambalaya Show. Join us Saturday afternoons from 1 to 2 p.m. on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com.
Don't miss Chew on This with John Clement and Patty B, 1 p.m. Saturdays on WGSO 990 AM and WGSO.com. New time, same great flavor.
New Orleans isn't just a city, it's a story, and I'm here to tell it. I'm Richard D'Anthony, your host of a brand new radio show all about the food, music, history, and culture that make this city unlike any other. Join me every Monday at 5 p.m. as we uncover hidden gems, share incredible stories, and take you deep into the heart of the Crescent City. Whether you're a local or just love New Orleans, this is your show. That's Completely New Orleans, Mondays at 5 p.m. on WGSO. Come join us.
This is Kate Delaney from America Tonight. The show kicks on at midnight, and I'm loving the overwhelming support in New Orleans. What a group of fantastic listeners here on WGSO 990 AM. Join me every morning to catch up on what I call the buzz in your backyard and mine. You'll hear some of the most interesting people on the planet from the world of business, politics, sports, and, well, just intriguing people with a story to tell. If you're around, give us a call. Don't worry, I'll spit out the number plenty of times on the air. Let's agree to meet at midnight right here on WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans.
New Orleans' premier Halloween destination, New Orleans Nightmare, is back for another chilling season. With 2 new themed attractions, this is the Halloween experience you won't want to miss. New Orleans Nightmare is open select nights, September 20th through November 8th. Tickets are available now at www.neworleansnightmare.com.
Welcome back. That was a chilling ad. It is now the last segment of our show, our election night analysis program. I'm Jeff Cruer with our good friend and WGSO colleague, Jack Clegg. As these results pretty much are in,
Yes.
The winners have been projected. 41% of the vote in. Helena Moreno's got 55%, staying firm at that level. And Sheriff Chief Woodfork will now be the sheriff. You know what's interesting, Jack? Very rare do you have an incumbent not only lose, but come in third. And, she's only got 16% of the vote. And, that just goes to show you how unpopular that lady
Great
was.
point. And it needs to be repeated several times. And there's a good reason, a constructive reason for doing it. It means that any of you out there that are holding elective office, if you screw up and you run again and come in third, we're not going to let you forget it. We're going to talk about it. It isn't going to be swept away. So I'm glad you made that point. It's Hutton, right? That was her name? Sheriff Hutton?
Susan Hudson.
Hudson. Yes,
and
yes.
the thing about her, which is interesting, is that she was a police monitor. And I interviewed her. I remember in the studio, interviewed her when she was police monitor, and she came in and talked about back then. This was Ferguson was going on.
Oh yeah.
And she was very sympathetic to the protesters, very critical of the police officers trying to maintain order there. And of course, if we remember, a lot of the supposed abuse the police officers were engaged in did not really happen. And as usual, there were false reports. But she was all on board with that. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is a police monitor, somebody who's anti-police. And then lo and behold, in a wave of super left-wing candidates getting elected, she got elected as the sheriff. Jason Williams got elected as the DA.
Sure.
And then you had LaToya Cantrell get elected as mayor. And, I think all of them were terrible. I mean, I don't think Jason Williams has been a good DA at all. I really don't.
I only have one question that's coming up with this election of Mayor Marino. And that is, how long do you think the line is going to be her bodyguard?
Why do you say that?
Oh, come on, Jeff.
I mean, are you talking about a little? Well, they can't go to the Pontalba anymore.
Well, they're going to have to find a new place.
Jack.
I understand that, but when
No
I
more
compare,
Pontalba.
I hate to be so superficial, but
She's
I
a
am.
happily married woman. She's a happily married woman. I know her husband.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So that she won't need a bodyguard. Maybe she can have one bodyguard.
No. Well, she'll get a bodyguard, but I mean, I don't think we have to worry about that.
Good,
I mean,
good.
And again, how embarrassing was that? I mean,
It's a joke.
She was using a city facility as a little romantic getaway with the bodyguard. That's why she went on all these international trips, so she could spend time with the bodyguard. Not because she cared about climate change, because she just wanted to go to Rio with him or go to London with him. I mean, what a fraud. What a fraud.
Well, we saw it. We witnessed it. And here's a question, and you probably, because you know New Orleans politics better than I certainly do. I know what it should be, but you know what it is better than I. Okay. We had heard all this stuff before, right? There was a recall of this woman, and yet she got reelected. How did that happen? Who was it? Which power broker, if you will? And we're not going to blame George Soros, okay? Not that boogeyman. But how did she get reelected when we all knew what was going on? How'd that happen?
That's a great question. That is a great question. Because
it's like we often
now
have
the recall was started. The recall was started in her second term.
Sure.
After she already had been reelected, and but the thing about it, it's hard to beat an incumbent mayor because Nagin won reelection even after Chocolate City comments and the debacle that he was involved in. He won reelection. Then you had Landrieu winning reelection, and even Cantrell won reelection. So it was just the way it is. Incumbents win reelection. So Helena Moreno will probably be mayor for 8 years. I mean, that's the history. We just elected someone to be mayor for 8 years.
There you go.
And again, she makes a good presentation. She's articulate. She seems to be someone who is.
Has she said anything about bringing new businesses into Orleans Parish?
Vaguely. I mean, she's vaguely talked about.
That's an honest answer. That's good.
Yeah.
And to me, and I may be just one out of a million people, but to me, That's the only way we're going to dig ourselves out of this. And we can say crime and we can put more police on the, but until kids and their parents have hope for the future, our best and our brightest are going to leave. And what do we got? What do we got? If the best and the brightest leave, what do we have? And if we can't see that, it's because we don't want to see that. But there's no logic behind having one industry, bed making and screwdriver making. Okay, you can't live. Okay, let's just. Can you live off of tourism? Las Vegas did. So maybe we need the Teamsters to come in and run our city, like they did. That's how they got things done in Las Vegas. You got the mafia and you got Teamsters. Maybe we need that instead of politicians. Because if that's what we think this is, let's do it the right way. Yeah. Do it a way that people make money.
Just to give people an update, so it's 229 precincts now reporting. Michelle Woodfork at 42,000 votes at 54%. So there's 79,000 people that have voted that they've counted, tabulated. In the mayor's race,
I see Miss Marino's on television. What is this, Fox News we're looking at?
Yeah, she's making her. Well, yeah, just her acceptance speech. I mean, her congratulatory victory speech. And she's got 45,000 votes right now of the 81,000 that have been tabulated, 229 of the 359 precincts. Looks like we could have a runoff in the race for clerk of criminal district courts.
Oh, no.
Between Darren Lombard and Calvin Duncan.
Oh, that's a guy.
That could be a runoff.
That's going to be good. That's entertaining. That's a guy who was convicted of murder and then made a plea deal for manslaughter and armed robbery, right? And he says that his record was, he didn't say expunged. What does he say? It was removed, or I forget the word he used. I'm like, what are you talking about? He entered a plea deal. Is guilty. But that's going to be interesting because Lombard was throwing some stuff at him, and then I give him credit. He fought back against Lombard because the Lombard employees were wearing Lombard lanyards. Did you hear about that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
So let's just look at this for a second. And this could be a race that gets national attention. So Calvin Duncan, 62 years old, spent 3 decades in prison.
Yep.
His conviction was quote unquote vacated. He faces attacks from the Louisiana's Attorney General, who said that he was mischaracterizing what happened. He taught himself law while in prison, struggled for years to access his quote unquote records. He says that now he wants to be the city's chief criminal record keeper.
Everyone can get their records. Yes, that's what he says.
He said, "I don't want to happen to me to happen to others." And there are disputes about the word exoneration, which is injecting drama into the race. So. And you're the legal analyst. So Louisiana Attorney General Liz Morrell denied Duncan's innocence.
Exactly.
Pointing to a 2011 plea deal for manslaughter and armed robbery.
Yes.
That Duncan says he accepted only to secure his release.
But it doesn't matter. He said he was guilty. There was
in televised debates, media interviews, and campaign advertisements, Lombard has called Duncan a murderer. And I would say that'd be an accurate characterization.
Well, manslaughter, there's a difference between manslaughter and murder, and it deals with intent. Okay. So, and we don't know the circumstance. I don't want to get into the circumstance. I don't want to talk about things I don't know about. But the difference between manslaughter and murder are significant. They are. And you serve less time for manslaughter than you do for murder. So he was convicted of murder. Okay. Then he reached a plea deal to spend less time by admitting to manslaughter and armed robbery. Okay, when you admitted to those things, you admitted to felonies, pal. I mean, I don't know how.
So let's just delve into this a little bit. So Duncan presented new evidence of his, quote, innocence. So the fatal shooting occurred in 1981.
Right.
His evidence includes police officers had lied in court.
Of course.
He released this information prior to his release from prison. A judge later vacated the conviction under a legal statute of, quote, factual innocence, and prosecutors that dismissed the charges. Legal scholars like you say there's no across-the-board legal standard for exoneration, but some experts generally define it as occurring when a person who has been convicted of a crime is officially cleared after new evidence of innocence becomes available. So this
you're
is
forgetting.
quite the
You're
issue
forgetting
here.
about the plea deal, where he went to somebody and said, "I committed manslaughter. I committed armed robbery. By saying this, I understand I'm going to get less time. I've already served maybe 2 decades, and so now I'm going to get
3
less
decades.
time." And he got less time, and now he's trying to say, "That wasn't me who said it. It was my doppelganger." I mean, he said it.
Even before he ran for office, the Attorney General was interested in this case. So Duncan earned a law degree in 2023. He sought to obtain $330,000 in state compensation for his wrongful conviction.
There you go, bingo.
Liz Morrell threatened to contest his ability to practice law unless he dropped his claim for the money.
Mm-hmm.
According to Morrell's spokesman, Duncan knowingly and intentionally pled guilty to this manslaughter in court.
Sure.
Duncan dropped his claim to avoid any impediment to practicing law.
Sure.
So,
I mean, it's one thing after another. But when you admit and you enter a plea deal that you committed this, you committed it. You can say, "Oh, I had my fingers crossed. I didn't really mean it. Oh, I didn't really mean it." I don't care. You said it. And you got consideration for saying it. Okay? The authorities said, "Okay, we will take your plea, accept it, and therefore now you get less time." Okay? Because murder is different than manslaughter. You're admitting to manslaughter, but not admitting to murder. So you get less time. You get out. We're giving you what you want. Okay? And now he's trying to say, but I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
So, less than 2 weeks before the election, Liz Morrell escalated the dispute, releasing a public letter accusing Duncan of gross misrepresentation for calling himself exonerated.
Mm-hmm.
But then dozens of attorneys signed a letter rejecting her claims. So, I guess it depends on how you view this.
Well, about 45 minutes ago, I talked to you about Louisiana law. Okay? There is a Louisiana law that allows a convicted person to have his charges expunged. Okay? And it's all of that. He serves his time, which apparently this guy did. Okay? You serve your time, and then you're clean for 10 years. And when I say clean, no convictions, no arrests, the whole 9 yards. Okay. So he didn't want to do that, apparently. You said in 23 he got out of jail? Is that what you said? According to your
2011. 2011. So he was in jail for 30 years, from 1981, I think, to 2011.
Okay.
His murder conviction was vacated by a judge in 2021.
The murder conviction was, but not the manslaughter or armed robbery.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So he can get them expunged. He could have gotten them expunged if he would have asked. Mm-hmm. If he led a clean record after the convictions, that could have happened. Mm-hmm. I don't know why he's not doing that. Because he wanted to run for this.
Yeah,
But
Duncan is well, he's a celebrity now. I mean, he had a memoir.
That's exactly
and,
right. He's George Floyd. There you go.
He recalled in a memoir how an older inmate advised him to learn the law to save himself. With only an 8th grade education, Duncan honed his legal skills and was allowed to help other inmates prepare court documents as part of a prison legal program.
Right.
His persistence eventually shaped national law. Duncan was a driving force behind a 2020 U.S. Supreme Court decision that ended non-unanimous jury convictions in Louisiana and Oregon, the only two states allowing a practice that was rooted in the Jim Crow era, said G. Ben Cohen, an attorney in the case.
Sure. Well, what again, and all that's nice. It certainly puts him in a nice frame, but he was not a lawyer until 2023. When he was in prison, he was not a lawyer. He wasn't a lawyer. He was essentially a paralegal. He was a paralegal,
Right. Yeah.
and in prison, he was in Angola. In prison, you can do a lot of things, a lot of work, a lot of other things. If you're in the legal program in prison, you talk to other prisoners. They actually talk to you. Now, you're not formally giving them legal advice. You're not their lawyer. Okay, and that's really important, okay? Because you can't practice law without a license. So these guys were not, and this guy was not giving anybody legal advice. But what they were doing is say, oh, you were arrested for armed robbery. Okay, well, we need to get your records. How do you do that? This guy says that while he was in jail, if I'd have had my records, I'd have gotten out right away. But he didn't. And I don't know why. And the story that you read and the stories you don't explain why he didn't do that. Could it be that he had a lawyer that he didn't pay? I don't know. Could it be because they did the wrong things? I don't know. My guess is there's some reason why. He also, as you say, was suing the authorities for $300,000, right? And he had to give up that lawsuit. He had to drop that lawsuit. And he did voluntarily.
He did.
So,
now, just another bit of information here that he's claiming. So he says, and by the way, we're talking about Calvin Duncan, who is a candidate for Orleans Criminal District Court clerk, running second with 45.24% of the vote. Looks like he has forced the incumbent into a runoff, Darren Lombard. If these results hold, we still have more precincts, and this is very close to either one of them winning first. There's a third candidate that right now, Valencia Miles, who has 6.62%. But Duncan said that getting a police report in Louisiana takes too long. He said in New Orleans, the court system relies too much on paper records. He says during Katrina, thousands of files were lost. In August, troves of criminal court records were mistakenly thrown away, if you remember that, requiring the clerk's office to salvage them from a landfill. What an embarrassment that was.
Yeah.
So Lombard, for his part, says, okay, we've got a new digital filing system that's coming on board this year. He says Duncan's unqualified, but Duncan fires back saying, hey, he's going to bring a unique appreciation for the weight of the office.
Well, I think we need to do that. We need to have a felon sitting next to Mayor Moreno because his perspective is going to be different than hers. So we need to hear more and more from convicted felons about what the real world is like. So maybe we need more of them. That makes sense, Mr. Duncan. That makes sense.
Unbelievable. So if this continues, there will be a runoff in that seat, and that will be very interesting.
The national news will jump all over it. You know who they're going to favor?
They will.
You know who they're going to favor, right?
Calvin Duncan.
You
Calvin
got it.
Duncan. Sure.
We can see it happening. We don't even need George Soros for this one.
Right.
The national journalists are going to jump all over this. That's what's going to happen.
Right. So that's where we leave it, folks. We just got a few minutes left. And just to review, Helena Moreno, the new mayor, Michelle Woodfork, the new sheriff, Matt Willard and J.P. Morrell, elected council at large. This race for criminal district court clerk could go to a runoff. New mayor of Slidell, Randy Fandle. And looks like we've also got a runoff in District A and a runoff in District E. And the rest, the incumbents won without an opponent. And in the District B, the incumbent councilwoman didn't even have a challenger. So very interesting election results.
Sure.
And at least, Jack, we had more of a turnout than we did 4 years ago. So that's good.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Mhm.
That's great.
And it looks like, as far as the challenges. So what do you think the number one challenge is for the new mayor, Helena Moreno?
Wow. Well, I think she's going to come in with a lot of goodwill. I think a lot of people are going to. I don't think any of the people she ran against are going to come out and trash her. I don't think so. I think she's riding a wave of popularity right now, and that's all good. The question is, what is she going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, you can look good and sound good for a while, but it's like that guy in California, handsome-looking governor. What has he been doing? It's going to take a while for us to know how effective she is. My position is real simple. I want her to start looking at businesses coming to New Orleans so that children and adults will have a reason to have their kids stay here and not leave. That's
Wouldn't you say that she would present a good face, a good image for New Orleans?
Of course she would. I mean, look at her. Yes, she'd be great.
Yeah.
And if she told that message, but no one has told that message. She was on the city council. She could have done that from the city council. No one has been speaking that message, and we need to. We need to. And and everything else is something that can be fixed overnight. This is nothing that can be fixed. This is something that's going to take a lot of effort. We're going to have to give people, effectively give inducements for people to come to a town that every caller tonight has said is riddled with crime.
Right. And we know it's crime. We know it's blight. We know it's homelessness. We know it's corruption. All the different problems that we've had in New Orleans. And the thing about it is, it's nothing new. I mean, these are problems that have been around for decades. I mean, last really exciting mayor that was progressive and moving the city forward and making positive change was probably Chet Morrison in the 50s and 60s. So, I mean, it's been literally 6 decades since we've had someone who's been a very successful mayor. So I'm hoping she's going to be fantastic.
I do too. I
I'm
wish
hoping
her
she's
well.
going to be great.
I wish her well. I really do. I would like her to be an effective mayor. That's it. I don't care about what else she does. Be an effective mayor. And then also try to get some businesses to come to New Orleans. We need it. We need it.
We do, so that our kids, grandkids can actually stay here, find employment here, and raise families here.
I remember remember all the people who came here after Katrina, the school teachers, and people will do it if you give them a good reason.
There was a lot. New Orleans was a hot city back then. I mean, people wanted to come here, be part of the rebuilding.
Yep.
And maybe we can get that going
I hope
again.
so.
All right, my friend. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Jeff.
Clegg.
Thank you.
And Mr. Anthony in the studio.
Anthony did good. Anthony did good all night. Anthony good.
Anthony, thank you, sir. And folks, be sure to keep it right here on WGSO. Great programming all weekend. I'll be back with you on Monday at 7. We'll delve into this and a whole lot more with some great special guests. Have a great rest of the weekend and keep it right here on WGSO. Good evening, everyone.
Join me, BJ Rust, every Saturday night at 7 p.m. for the Something to Say radio show right here on WGSO 990 AM, New Orleans,